The Bride of Frankenstein.
The Bride of Frankenstein was released in 1935 and is the sequel to the iconic Frankenstein from 1931.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
The story is a continuation of the first one, which picks up as the monster escapes the burning windmill and goes on the run from the town who hunted him. Dr. Frankenstein is healing from his injury after being thrown from the top of that windmill by the monster. As he's healing, Dr. Pretorius, his old mentor, forces him to help with another creation, the Bride of Frankenstein. James Whale directed the first film, this one, as well as The Invisible Man. The franchise of the Universal Monster movies are known as the ones to birth the modern horror movie. These films include Dracula, The Invisible Man, Frankenstein, Bride, The Mummy, The Wolfman, Creature from the Black Lagoon, Phantom of the Opera, and many more sequels and spin-offs. I've been a massive monster movie fan since 2019 when I purchased a physical copy of a collection for these movies and instantly watched Dracula and Frankenstein. There's something so investing and fascinating about these films, despite the fact that they're almost 100 years old. My favorite of the bunch, though, is easily The Bride of Frankenstein. Today, I want to look at how James Whale studied an outsider perspective in Bride. Before we start, let's clear up one common mistake. Frankenstein is not the name of the creature. Frankenstein is the name of the man who created him, Dr. Victor Frankenstein. The monster, the creation, or any variation of that is the official name.
Good, good.
Frankenstein's monster is famously played by the iconic Boris Karloff. Karloff is arguably the biggest star of the Universal Monster films, from starring as the monster in 3 of them, playing the Mummy, and co-starring alongside other horror icon Bela Lugosi in The Black Cat and The Raven. Let's start off with feminist theory. In the main story of Bride, we really only have 2 main female characters. The first of those is Elizabeth, the fiancée of Victor Frankenstein. She is used as bait for Dr. Frankenstein after Dr. Pretorius takes her hostage in order to get Victor to help create the bride. The bride, or the monster's mate as she's credited, is only seen as a companion. She is created by 2 men for the purpose of serving the male creature. She is also not given a proper name, furthermore showcasing the male perspective.
Woman, friend for you.
And this brings us to queer theory, a theory that examines those who do not fit within the set gender stereotypes. I believe that James Whale purposely uses the women in this film as companions as a way to point out the ongoing issue in the real world. James Whale was an openly gay director even back in the 1930s. The bride herself, Elsa Lanchester, stated that James Whale was great to work with because she admired both his method of directing and the pleasant atmosphere he created. Dr. Pretorius is another key character to focus on. James Whale told actor Ernest Thesiger to portray him as an over-the-top caricature of bitchy and aging homosexuality. In the film, his full name is Septimus Pretorius. When translated from Latin, Septimus means 7, which many people believe to be a reference to the 7 deadly sins. This reference provides a little hint to his evil nature, but also showcases Whale's talent for including irony and camp elements in his films. Spoiler alert. Throughout the film, the monster constantly attempts to find a safe place to hide, where he won't be bothered for being different. One of the first places he tries is an old hermit's house. There is a simple, clear connection between the old man and the creature. They are both outcasts, the others. The old man is referred to as a hermit because in this version he lives alone. The monster first connects with him after hearing his music. He quickly hides away though because of his past experiences with every other human.
Who's there?
Unexpectedly, the hermit takes him in and teaches him how to speak, drink, smoke, and gives him shelter for the night.
Alone. Bad. Friend. Good.
But later on, some hunters stumble across the old cabin and spot the monster. Once again, he is rejected by the regular people, but this scene is equally as sad because now the old blind hermit is alone again and does not understand why.
What are you doing? This is my friend.
The final scene I would like to discuss is the actual reveal of the bride. Contrary to popular belief and a misleading title, she is on screen for under 5 minutes, though her impact is felt throughout the entire film. When the bride finally comes to life, her robotic movements enchant those around her. John J. Mescal's gorgeous cinematography helps bring her movements to life. The monster approaches her, but as soon as he gets near her, she lets out a scream. The bride is terrified of her supposed mate and is brought away.
She hates me.
In the final moments of the film, after his last rejection, the monster calls out one of the most iconic and depressing lines.
You stay. We belong dead.
As a single tear rolls down his cheek, he pulls a lever that begins the self-destruction of the building. Throughout his many attempts to be accepted, the monster inevitably gives up and is subject to suicide. James Whale's The Bride of Frankenstein is one of my favorite films of all time. The deep, rich themes are brought into such beautiful light with this tragic story of acceptance. The study of being alienated from society has never been done better than it was nearly 100 years ago in 1935.
To a new world of gods and monsters.